What? I don't know. Anyway, okay. Well, this weird thing happened to me, and I've been trying to figure it out for years. And it had something to do with Trump being elected. And I think it was sort of like, I didn't want to do anything dark. It's just I got my paintings got goofier and goofier and more colorful, and I think I realized just the last couple of days I felt like maybe it's because I just decided I was going to be a fool, and that's kind of the way I think. I don't really understand this whole country. I mean, everything. I must be a fool because I don't understand really anything about it, how it works anymore. And I still love to paint, and maybe, and I like doing these crazy, very colorful paintings. And there's sort of a method to it that it came out of a lot of things that have been happening. I mean, in terms of my practice over maybe the last 20 years. So it's not something that just happened overnight, but it really kind of blossomed. Like I kind of gave up or something when Trump got elected, and it's almost like I've just sort of given up and I'm going to be this fool. And so Marilyn was talking about something about sort of like giving up or something. And in terms of opening up to creativity, I remember when I was about 19, I was in an art studio class and we were looking at this setup of pears, and I thought they were really funny. And yet I couldn't paint them to be funny because I was really interested in trying to paint the colors and the shapes that were there, because I really liked that part of painting too. And I think maybe at this point in my life, I've been at it for so long that I can start to do both of those things, that I can see the colors that I like and tones that I like, and just, and also kind of express the humor and kind of be the fool. And I think probably most of us feel that in a sense. To be an artist, you have to be a fool anyway. So anyway, that painting that I showed you, I put up on an inauguration day. I put it on my Facebook page because I was looking through some paintings of this series I've been working on with this garden, and I thought, wow, when I did that painting, I wasn't even sure if I should keep it or throw it away. And all of a sudden it just dawned on me, that's pretty nice. And in a way, I mean, Cleveland even said this about being good enough. And I thought, not only is it good enough, that's as good as I could paint it. I could paint that painting over again 5 times, which I kind of do many times, but I could tell I couldn't do it technically any better. Like I've kind of like tried to accept the limits of my technical ability. So there you go. That's my show and tell.
Did you show the painting?
Yeah, there you go.
It's great.
I don't have anything artful to share. But I have a couple thoughts on what I've just been hearing. And then I do have something I want to show you guys that I have found very exciting. And I think is exciting at lots of levels. I think that notion of giving up control is also, the flip side of that is allowing for freedom of mistake making. And I know as a perfectionist myself that it's only been the times when I've been willing to fail at something that I think it's actually turned out to be pretty good. And that I've discovered stuff. And it's hard. It's because none of us want to fail. None of us like failing, but I think, and I think for me personally, once I realized that creativity isn't something that I control, creativity isn't something that I somehow have. It exists. And for me, it's when I just say, okay, and then like leave room for creativity to then kind of move through me in the skill set that I have. And I try to keep making my skill set better. But you know, if the creative juice isn't there, I can't write. If it's not there, I can't dance. If it's not there, I can't manufacture creativity. I can. What is in my control is the habitus, right? The habit of doing, so that when the creativity does come through, your skill set, like you're able to do a better job of, technically with how it's wanting to show itself. And so, and it's been fascinating to me. When I couldn't bear to watch anything on the news, and I couldn't bear to, for up until the inauguration, I had like 2 weeks where I was playing turtle. And so I started sorting through boxes in the basement as my way of turtling, and found 3 boxes of what was labeled Merry Memorabilia. And I found poems that I wrote when I was like in 4th grade. I found artwork that I had done and sent to my grandparents, and that had been sent back, and my parents eventually sent it to me. I found doll clothes that I had made when I was like in 5th or 6th grade. I kept finding this stuff. And I remember at one point reading something, I was like, wow, that's a good poem. Who wrote that? And then as I was like, oh, wait a minute, I wrote that. But it's like, okay, I gave that up, and then I gave the other thing up, and then I gave the other thing up. But that creative spark keeps on trying to find a way to manifest itself is what I find exciting and reassuring. So that even if I'm not sure exactly how it's going to emerge next, I can trust that as long as I'm open, it will emerge at some point. The other thing, here's the show. You all may have already discovered this book and read it. And if you haven't, I highly, highly recommend it. She is a woman who, this book is a lot about community engagement, but a lot of what this is about being open to change, and a lot about allowing for change through looking for what's delightful and what's full of love and what is full of hope, and about being a better listener than you are a talker, so that you're really listening to hear what needs to change, instead of deciding for yourself what needs to change, that you're really listening. And it may not be the things you think it's supposed to be. But again, it's that idea of kind of letting go of control over process, letting go of control over who you think is supposed to be the expert in the room, letting go of all of those things. And it's just,
I had brought in a poem I had put through. I brought in 11 drafts of A Tonka. It was about, the first draft was about, I was trying to capture the idea of my grandmother landing at Ellis Island and meeting her there. It ended 11 or more drafts later with my mother and I walking hand in hand around the island. So I wrote about seeing Mount Fuji from a train, imagining her speaking to me. And then third and fourth drafts, I brought in the pandemic, remembering Mount Fuji and the train. 9th to 16th drafts, Fuji connecting earth and sky. And that was September 10th. September 12th, I was frustrated because I was going nowhere. And so I did free writing about Fuji and holding my camera pressed up against the window, lens cap off, finger of the right hand on the shutter, looking through the viewfinder. The 17th to 20th drafts are essentially about that time period, holding my camera against the window. September 15th, 21st to 23rd drafts was returning to earlier versions. 24th to 28th drafts, going back to the photograph. And these were changes of words and phrases. And then 29th draft, the lens of my camera, I focused on that. 33rd to 40th drafts, focused on the train. It was a rushing train. It was a bullet train. And then I switched to the computer. And for the 1st to the 46th drafts, the name of the train, whether it's the bullet train or the Shinkansen, which is the Japanese, name for the train. And on September 19th, the deadline, I sent a final draft, and I wanted to show that to you. Remembering my photo of Mount Fuji rising, taken from a high-speed train, strengthens me in these days of confusion. And I also wanted to show you the photo that I took. It was split second. I was about to step away from the window. I had been waiting so long, and suddenly, my finger did its job, and so did the camera. If I was doing this again, I could have done it earlier and several times within the process. Because what happened, the final poem, all of the photos that I've taken before helped me take that photo. And I've taken a lot of photos. And so it was the action, and to a certain extent, Bill, it sort of relates to your painting. It was the activity of doing that was enabling me to do this. And this is about the experience that I had been open to. And this is the effect today, during this time of great stress. This is the effect. So that's essentially, it's not in the classical form, not classical form, usual form. Usual form is short, long, long. But it gets the job done. And the job was to essentially make me feel better. And make me feel better about my creativity, which is what is happening now in my doing this and telling you about it. So, thank you.
And so when I create, it's because I'm commissioned or I get excited and something kind of comes my way. And rather than, really working hard at it as you all are. So, so right now, our house is really quite vibrant with Liam, who is cranking out songs. I think many of you know he plays trumpet, and he's a rapper right now. And so he commissioned me after he just started making these songs. And then about like his 4th or 5th song, he said, "Dad, I need a lyric video. Do you want to do it?" He was pretty strict about how, what lines would go where, the format. And so what I did was this. I won't tell you more about the process of this. I'll just play it and see what you guys want to talk about.
Whoa,
Trying not to get complacent. Fire burning, test my patience. Trying not to get complacent, fire burning, test my patience, throw my time in a basket wasted, drown in a rise of fascination. Different plane hallucinations, sinking depression, hopeless waiting, feel the pressure, soak it daily, run into trouble, no Hail Mary. Toss my pain, I'm wishing welling, toss my pain, I'm wishing welling, down the cliff but no repelling, mind a chessboard, bishop belling, fighting demons, harming, yelling demons, skill like Harmon, see my destiny, drink the karma, sink the rest of me, heart on my sleeve, no chest piece, I'm rapping cause the juice, rest in peace. 999 to the death of me. I got rhymes in the depth of me. I got rhymes gonna step your feet, step your feet, step your feet. Yeah. Step your feet. Yeah. I'm thinking, baby, come back home. I feel alive but so alone. Step outside for another toe. Back inside, I'm vibing full. Spit my heart to the microphone. Life, it moves in cycles. Pedal, hone your skills. Heat the metal, beat the devil. Keep up level. Don't tip over, check your level. Don't tip over, check your level. Yeah. Said I'm trying not to get complacent. Fire burning, test my patience. Throw my time in the basket wasted. Drown in a rise of fascination. Different plane hallucination. Different plane hallucination. Will we lose the nation? Will we lose the nation? Virus killing people daily. Cops steal black lives from us daily. I'm throwing up like 10 Hail Marys. Kaepernick, hand it off and I carry. My white privilege shows its presence daily. Remind myself, for me, life is not that scary. But I fell in love with the heartbreak music, so please just bear with me. Think about you on the daily, alien. Wish you weren't such an alien. Think about you on the daily, alien. I wish you weren't such an alien. I said, I'm trying not to get complacent. Fire burning, test my patience. Throw my time in a basket wasted. Drown in a rise of fascination. Time and space seem so evasive. Lost my mind, it's outer spacing. Dreams of mountain powder chasing my love down the mountain. Get the money, find the fountain. Yeah. Get the money, find the fountain. Yeah. I'ma be dropping music every week. Get ready, motherfucker. And I got an EP on the way. And I got a mixtape on the way.
No way.
Hey.
This is the mixtape. I decided to drop it today. Yay. But tread lightly, for the kid you grew up with is not the mother you shall find on the trail. Facts.
This is the new era.
This is a new kind of feel for me experiencing him as a creative being, and he is on fire and inspired, and so just he is so activated because of what is going on, and very passionate. So it was like so cool. He just grabbed me and said, "Dad, make this." Okay, sure. And so that process was probably about 72 hours of like this, and taking, breaks, trying to do that, and then going like that. And it was quite exhilarating. And you talk about versions and I don't know. Just for me, really getting in touch with timing and my feeling of just trying to have fun was really pleasurable, and having to chase Liam's song as I did.
I love your willingness to plow into a different art form than you're used to working in, and just go and see what happens. And I think that was really wonderful and fun, and yeah, and just knowing that you were, I love your line, chasing after Liam's lyrics. I think that's great. I think it's good for us to chase after the young ones sometimes, you know. We need to let them lead.
I have a little thing for show and tell. This is that I don't have a lot to say about process, except that this is a poem that came from a prompt. I was doing like a little mini workshop with Leonard Gontrick in the fall. And the prompt for this poem was just food. Just write a poem about a food. And it really shows the way that a prompt just becomes a conduit for whatever you were going to write about anyway. You know, it just kind of gives you a path towards whatever it is you wanted to say. So yeah, I started with just thinking about one of my favorite foods, which is popcorn, which I heavily associate with the movies, because I love not just the movies themselves, but the whole experience of going to the movies, especially like a movie matinee thing. And so it prompted this poem, which is called Sacrament. How many gray Saturdays did I cross under the marquee seeking solace, always met with a gust of carnival gold, fresh from the hopper glint with mother-loving butter. Anonymous in the flickering cave, I watched the shadows back and forth, slunk in my seat, salt on my fingers, butter on my tongue, clear through the credits, hulls and burnt kernels lolling at the bottom of the tub. After last blip and crackle, when the lights came up, I would go outside where sometimes the afternoon had turned golden. It's a second draft, but I feel like it's doing what I want it to do. Like I tweaked a few things after the initial draft, but it came through pretty much saying what I wanted to say. I just tweaked a few little things, and then I felt like, okay, that's it.
Nice.
Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to share with you one of my daily exercises. It's a song that I had written with some kids about Dr. Seuss, and I tried to pull everything I could out of the kids. And over the last couple weeks, excuse me, I've been looking for material, and I found this one on my Shake It CD and found it. It needed more, so I wrote some extra verses and then dipped into Google Images. So I'll play it for you here. In between these. Good morning, friends. Welcome to the campfire. Saturday morning means it's family time. And I'm going to share one that I wrote a while ago about Dr. Seuss. Now, nothing draws kids, parents, grandparents, librarians together quicker than opening up a Dr. Seuss book. So, I'm going to share this one with you. Wrote some extra verses this morning. But I need you to apply some special effects. Now, there are many, many strange creatures in these books, but I need you, yes, you, to provide the soundtrack for these books. All right? I know you can do that. Here we go. I went to the library to get an adventure book, but my eyes saw something weird. I took another look. The picture on the cover was a cartoon cat. That's when I met the cat in my hat. An artist and an illustrator on the loose, a great American author, that is Dr. Seuss. Then I met a Grinch, he stole a holiday. The Lorax and the truffle trees and how things go astray. Yertle was a turtle, king of all that he could see. Sam, I am green eggs and ham, how they tickled me. I saw an elephant sitting on Maisie's nest. Horton hatched that egg. As an elephant, he's the best. Fox and socks had rhymes that really twist my tongue. I could read Hop on Pop when I was really young. An artist and an illustrator on the loose, a great American author, that is Dr. Seuss. I saw a tufted mazurka if I ran the zoo. A person's a person no matter how small. Horton heard a who. Horse and wagon became a parade on Mulberry Street. Bartholomew Cubbins had 500 hats. That's quite a feat. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish, rhyming's the best. Tidwig the moose plucks on his antlers, polite to his guests. Walking in my pocket, zamping my lamp, and other strange give. Sneetches, old wet, old places I have been. An artist and an illustrator on the loose, a great American author, that is Dr. Seuss. I went to the library for an adventure book, but my eyes saw something strange. I took another look. Picture on the cover was a cartoon cat. That's when I met the cat in the hat. Have a great Saturday, friends. We'll see you tomorrow morning in the kitchen.
That's like a real folk anthem-y kind of. The song is like an anthem. It's wonderful. And so,
Here you go. I'll tell you. I wrote it and everything, and then like 3 weeks later, I found out it was very similar to Gilligan's Isle.
now that you say that, yeah, but there's just something. Excuse me. There's a real something eternal. I mean about it, and that rhythm is not what I associate with Dr. Seuss. So it really kind of glorifies Dr. Seuss in a wonderful new way.
Well, the minor thing really lends itself to the bizarreness of his creatures. So that was part of the intention when I started it out. It couldn't be a folky type of strumma type of thing. It had to be from somewhere else. And it forced me to think outside of the box as far as the chord progression. You folks commented about the inauguration. You realize it was 4 years without art,
Yeah.
without any indication of artists in the country. It was incredible. It was a void, and that's what made that young poet so vibrant. And to have poetry right up front like that. Thanks. These are amazing sessions. They really are. And so nice to have you in my circle of friends.
Likewise. Thanks for doing this.
All right.
Keeping it going.